and Damon here from Games, Brains and Head-Banging Life, gbhblofficial.com for short. And it's the big question, and it's really simple. In our personal opinions, your personal opinion and my personal opinion, what is the best zombie game you've played to date? There are a wide array you could choose. You want to go back to Resident Evil and the zombies that appear in there? Do you want to go to something like Left 4 Dead, which is more action orientated but heavy on that as well? Do you want to go to sort of the Telltale games, The Walking Dead, that stuff? Yeah. They're good zombie games. Yeah, they are, yeah. Do you want to go for something that is quintessentially zombies? Dead Rising, for example. There is it. You can even go back, if you want, to the early days of things like Zombies Ate My Neighbours on the Mega Drive and stuff like that. Although I don't think I would be going that far back. I'm going to be honest, this was a big question that I answered immediately. Because I've always thought this and I still think it.
I think mine and me are going to be different. Because,
okay.
Yeah.
Well, saying that then, talk me through yours and why.
Yeah, I mean, I expect most people to go, oh, Resident Evil. You know, Resident Evil. Zombies, that's it, yeah.
Yep.
But do you know what? Mine's Left 4 Dead.
Right.
Because, and the reason why I chose Left 4 Dead, because the zombies in Resident Evil, you could always walk around them. In Left 4 Dead, this is like the 28-day later zombies. These are the ones that will put you, run at you, and they surround you like hordes and hordes and hordes. And that was scary, man. Playing on expert, you get surrounded by a horde. You're dead.
Yep.
That's it. You're done.
Yeah, I'd never experienced anything like that. The whole wave system.
Yeah, and it's one of those games. I mean, I could play it now and still find it difficult and enjoy it. Obviously, you got the special effect too, which obviously doesn't obviously add to the difficulty.
Yep.
But yeah, no, for me, it's Left 4 Dead.
Okay, so yeah, what about Left 4 Dead 2? Have you got any experience with the sequel?
I barely played it because I didn't. I say I barely played it. I did complete it on my original account, but it wasn't as much fun. They changed it to some characters, and there was too much DLC. And again, it was mainly based online, which was annoying. And obviously, I think at the time when I got into it, the servers were very quiet. So again, I had to join 2 achievements and create my little booster group.
No, that's fair enough. Not even in my mind. I've never been a fan. I've never really been a fan of those team-based ones, except for Friday the 13th, which I really like. So I said mine was easy, but I do want to throw out, I guess, some honourable mentions. Although it's a flawed game, I think Dead Island has some good zombie ideas, location-wise and stuff like that.
Do you know, I never played that game, do you know, and the reason I never played it was because I heard it was severely glitched. It had some severe problems. Well,
I don't know about that. I know I've completed the original ones. They were re-released and remade again. And if you ever want to play them, by the way, we'll do this now. I have them and I'm always looking for a co-op partner. Yeah. So Dead Island. But I also want to give a shout out to a game that I only played recently but been out for a few years. As a really fun take and different take on zombies. Dying Light. I couldn't believe the very first time I stayed out at night in Dying Light, and if you know the game, you know what this means. I had never been more terrified in my life. I remember getting back to a safe zone and just being like, how did this game do that to me? Because nighttime in Dying Light, they kept putting up messages and telling me, don't be out at night. You don't want to be out at night. Don't do it. Like, you're going to die because the freaks come out at night. Yep. It's not just the zombies, and even the zombies are more powerful at night as well. Oh my fucking God. Oh my God, it is terrifying. Even when I was the highest level and felt like a badass in that game, I still treated night with
caution,
very cautious. But when you're weak level and the first time you're getting chased and there are more of them jumping across roofs and chasing you and you're just like, where the fuck's it? Oh my God, couldn't believe it. So massive props to Dying Light for doing that to me. Really, really good game. Really enjoyed it. Yeah, the sequel just came out last couple of months ago. But so Dying Light's quite good. What else was there? There was one more that I was thinking I wanted to give a shout. Oh, I haven't played loads of this, but when I did play it, I kind of enjoyed it, even though it's not normally my jam. But World War Z.
Okay, yeah.
So it's a multiplayer one. It's all about teams and all that.
Yep.
And it's all wave-based and stuff like that. But I really enjoyed and got quite a laugh out of the threat of the waves of zombies and how it's like a sea of them rolling towards you.
Yeah.
I kind of got amused by that. But I am a traditionalist. I do like zombies in a traditional sense. I'm happy enough for zombies in different variations. So when I came across a game back in like 2007, I think it was, maybe a bit later when I played it, but 2007 I think it was released, and it was like, oh, that game looks like it's a game of Dawn of the Dead. It looks like it's set in a mall with zombies. And then I saw the back of it, and I heard that it was the first time so many zombies had appeared on screen together, and it had these survival options and elements, and I was like, this game sounds like it's everything I ever wanted it to be. It's Dead Rising. But I'm about to shock you. It is not my favourite zombie game anymore. It was once.
Okay.
Dead Rising was once my favourite zombie game, the original. Because the original had challenge, whereas I felt like the sequels are too easy. The first one actually had challenge, and I always loved that. However, along came a game. Well, two games. I'm going to talk about the sequel more than the first, but I've got to talk about the first here. On the Xbox 360 that said, hey, you always wanted an open world zombie game where you are free to build a house, get people to come and live with you, survive together, roam the land and find supplies, and just live in a zombie world. There is a story, but it's you live in a zombie world. And I went, yes, I've been asking for this all my life. It was State of Decay. And I was like, oh my God, and I loved it. Then they did a sequel. State of Decay is about 5 or 6 years old. Sequel is about a year old. And now as well, the sequel has had so many patches, so many DLCs added that the game is perfect. It runs perfectly. It is brilliant. It patched it so many times and added so many good DLCs, including harder difficulty modes.
How does that work, David?
State of Decay 2 took what State of Decay 1 did and made it better. It is my favourite zombie game. I have spent so much time in State of Decay loving every minute of just being in an open world, choosing which direction and where to go in the story, choosing to ignore it, there's achievement for spending like 100 days in it. So like there's reasons, but building up a community, getting our supplies, stripping a land and realising, oh shit, we're running out of supplies, so we're going to have to move on and move to a new area because there were more areas.
So is it like a point and click game, or is it actual character?
Nope, yep, third person, character on the screen. State of Decay 2 is my favourite zombie game. It took everything brilliant about State of Decay, which was always my dream zombie game, but State of Decay was empty. State of Decay 2 is not. It is a much bigger, much wilder, much more impressive thing as well. Knights in State of Decay are no problem. Zombies are more powerful. Obviously the hearts that you've got to destroy to kind of kill off the infection as much as possible, those come with a massive, when you attack them, it calls in zombie reinforcements, and that gets wild. It is nothing more horrible when a character dies. They stay dead. They're dead. If you say you've got a character that you love and you look after, you play, because you can switch between all the characters at any point, and you can send them out to do missions on your own. But you've got to keep and look after everyone. You've got to make sure they've got enough food and water and all of this. But if they die, they stay dead.
It sounds like an RPG sort of.
It is. Yeah, it's got all the elements in there. Yeah, it's all the elements in there. I'd recommend State of Decay 2 to you. Seriously, play it. And you don't have to play the first one either, to understand the story. You don't need to do that. State of Decay 2, it's on Game Pass.
It's on Game Pass.
It's fucking, yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So at least it was. I might have to check that 100%. It was because it was a Microsoft Studios game, like the developer. Good. So I heard, but I love. So State of Decay 2 for me is my favourite zombie game to date. I know it's amazing that it's a modern game that I've chosen because it's only like a year or two old.
Do you know what the shocking thing is though? That both our picks we haven't mentioned Resident Evil at all.
No, but that's because I don't see Resident Evil as a zombie game. I see it more as a sort of monster game than anything else because your zombies in Resident Evil aren't it's your hunters, it's your lickers, it's elements like this. Yeah. So I didn't really consider Resident Evil if I'm honest. I started to think of games that were predominantly based around zombies. Dead Rising, like I said, Dead Island, State of Decay. There we are. State of Decay 2 is my one. What's yours? You know what to do. Let us know in the comments.
Thank you very much for watching. If you liked what you saw, please help us out by giving us a thumbs up and hitting that subscribe button. If you really liked what you saw, consider donating to keep the website and channel running by buying us a coffee via our coffee page or picking up some merch from our Big Cartel store. You can check us out on gbhbl.com as well as via our social media, Facebook, Instagram and Twitter, as well as listen to our interviews via SoundCloud, Apple Music and Spotify. Just search for GBHBL. Games, horror and heavy metal. What else is life for?